Hey guys, it's week 13 of the Stronger Olympic Lifting series, and this week is the last week where it's relatively light and the volume isn't that high either, so this week should be a breeze. We've got two questions this week. The first one is from Hayden267267. You wonder where they get these numbers from. Is that your pin, mate? Why would good mornings be a better exercise for fixing a low back weakness instead of hyperextensions? Now, the reason I've switched from hyperextensions to good mornings is because the weakness that was pointed out was my lower back in squats, and a good morning replicates that squat position more so than the hyperextension. Because you see, one of my main problems was the butt raising up first from the bottom of the squat, and I tended to very small do a good morning as I got up. That was the problem I think Ricky pointed out. So doing good mornings is going to build that strength in the lower back so that I can just drive straight up out of that bottom position of the squat. Buggled wants to know, do you ever lift with Lachlan or do you just not film it?
Thank you for asking. Been waiting 13 weeks for someone to bring me up. We don't really live together. Tyson considers himself too elite for my level.
Yeah.
And he looks down upon me. We don't actually live together because our schedules don't line up in that way. We already struggle enough to train body weight together. So at the moment it's too hard to do lifting together at the same time. But we're hoping very soon to be able to schedule both our body weight and lifting training together so we can have the optimal workouts.
And that's question time. Thanks for being part of question time, mate. I hope the wait was worth it. The question for you guys this week is, how long is your journey to gym? Do you want to shed light on how far you travel for gymnastics?
I train at 2 gyms and they're both about a 15-minute bike ride away from my house, so nice and close.
Yeah. And I actually took the liberty to film my journey to gym this week, so check that out and enjoy week 13.
I'm going to film my journey to gym. Because I'm in Sydney now, everything's a lot closer, so I can afford or spare the time to have a bike. It actually saves time to have a bike and ride to these places rather than wasting petrol, getting stuck in traffic when something's only 5 minutes away, uninterrupted. So I'm riding my bike a lot more now. I enjoy it a lot. When I was younger, a teenager, I rode my bike everywhere and all I wanted was a license so I could drive. Now I've had the license, I drive, and now I miss riding a bike. It just feels more in tune with being physical, I guess. I feel like I'm doing something rather than just sitting in a chair or a seat and the vehicle moving for me. If you live close to your gym, I'd highly recommend riding to your gym instead of driving. It's a good little warm-up in the first place, gets you outside, and it's just fun. Let's go on a journey on the way to gym.
Welcome to week 13. It was actually quite a funny start to the week because, as I mentioned, the weight is low and the volume isn't that high, so I shouldn't have any problems this week. Anyway, it's not on film, but during one of these cleans I caught it and slowly fell backwards. It can be a little scary, mainly because I watched a video of a lifter who shattered his wrists because he didn't raise his elbows up as he fell. So naturally I pushed my elbows up as high as they'd go as I rocked back. I fell and it slowly rolled up and hit my chin. I was fine, but it goes to show how you need to be paying attention and be aware of your movements at all times. I think these jokes are good. There's no trouble getting the lifts, but as I look back on the footage, I wonder, where's the aggression? I'm doing this way too relaxed. Olympic lifting is about power, and that can be channeled through aggressive movements, and I don't see that aggression here. Even if it's lighter weights, it should still be aggressive. I upped the good mornings to 50 kilos. With a few sessions under my belt with 40, I thought it was appropriate to add some weight. But remember, this is an accessory exercise for the lower back to assist with squats, so I won't be going much heavier. There was no post-workout for this session. Snatch, the most technical lift. If there were to be any problems this week, it would have to be with snatch. I wasn't too bad, but if I notice anything to be fixed, I'll be right on it. And for this session, my butt tended to raise too early as I stood up out the bottom position. It kept making me step forward. It's a solid torso when I catch the clean, though for the weight I expected the jerk to look a lot better. Finally decided to up the weight for the push press. I know you've seen me do 100 kilos plenty of times before, but doing it as my 80% will help to push my max up, as long as I can maintain the percentage along the way. Quite a wide stance in the catch for me, and looking a bit slow. It's the same deal as last week. I need to push it more than I think I can, and that's what will result in the type of speed that is really needed. I feel like I always need to do better in the front squat, so I push it as much as possible. I jumped back up to 125 today, and I'm noticing a pattern of feeling stronger on Saturdays than I do on the Tuesday, which is where I perform my first front squats of the week. I was advised by my coach to be a little more strict on arm bend for the pulls, so I made an effort not to bend or row the bar as much after the full extension was completed. Hey guys, for long-time viewers you might remember this landscape behind me. Maybe even lifters that follow Lachlan's channel. I had to pick up some stuff, but another reason I'm here is he has a bench press station. Now at lifting today, the coach hung around for a bit longer than usual and got to talking about some assistance exercises for the rack position in the clean and the front squat. As you guys know, if you've been watching, one of my problems with front squat is the elbows coming down, the chest kind of caving in. Now this isn't a cure for that. I still need to always drill that technique, keep it in my head to keep the chest proud. But a decent assistance exercise that has been suggested, bench press. Not something I would have expected. It's obviously gonna build up the chest. If you build up your chest too much, it's gonna pull everything forward. If you're pulling everything forward, that's not something ideal that you want in lifting when you're trying to rack a weight with a proud chest, because having it pulled forward obviously leads to caving in. That's why it was suggested to do the bench press just once a week. I'm going to try 8 reps, 3 sets, and see how that works for me.
It's not strength training. It's just bench press once a week, just to try and target the chest a little bit more, maybe put on some extra mass that's going to help keep me stable in that rack position.
Unfortunately, this was the only time I got to bench press for this series. I admit it was a low priority to incorporate it only 2 and a bit weeks out from competition, but I'll be making the time to bench once a week once I get regular access to a bench station, which hopefully should be soon.
I felt weird. I haven't bench pressed for a while, and I'll watch the footage, but that felt like it was moving further and further away from my chest, like I was pushing it down away from the face. Very odd. Generally with bench press, I try and unrack it. Probably sounds like semantics, but it's always good to have some kind of routine. So I try and unrack it with the barbell just below eye level, bring it off, and I just align it with my nipples, bring it down. I don't bounce it off the chest, and then push back up.
Week 13 is over, and now gets real. Next week should give the greatest indication as to what I can achieve in competition. It's max out time again. And yes, do you even have to ask? Of course there'll be PBs. It's all in week 14. Subscribe to show your support, and I'll see you next Thursday.
You sure you don't want a shot of that?
I'm obviously not going to put in something that shows me up.
Look at Maltese. Maltese training. That's my singlet.
Don't!
I won it for doing something. Handstand push-ups.
Yeah, where's my singlet?
You got a hat, didn't you? Oh, you got to shake it. What'd you get?
I had a girlfriend.